You might have smelled it in a park or in a parking lot, maybe around a corner or hidden behind a fence. But now it's literally everywhere. And I'm talking about weed. Ever since Florida legalized medical marijuana back in 2016, it's been helping thousands of users, and clinics have been popping up exponentially. But it's not so easy to qualify. There are several steps to get there. So, journey with us into the process of getting a medical card here in Florida. This is The Need for Weed. The history of cannabis is a long one. It was cultivated during the earliest days of the American colonies for its abundance of uses, and it wasn't until the attitudes during the Prohibition era changed all that. Marijuana was federally outlawed by 1931 and later declared a Schedule I drug by President Nixon in 1970.
America's public enemy number one in the United States is drug abuse.
And as of January 2019, a total of 33 states, including Florida, have legalized medical marijuana. I met up with Sam, an expert on medical marijuana in South Florida, for more information on the subject.
Hi, I'm Samantha. I'm the Secretary of Health and Wellbeing here at FIU SGA. I'm also the Corporate Events Director and Outreach Manager for Miracle Leaf Health Centers. The process by the state, there's a registry, a pre-qualification registry that takes 5 to 10 days to verify that you are a Florida resident. That's 5 to 10 business days. So maximum 2 weeks of approval. Within 5 to 10 business days, our clinic likes to have you come in for an appointment to see the certifying doctor. That way, when you get that 10-day approval of that Florida residency, you're able to go to the dispensary. Here in Florida, we call it a recommendation. We can't call it a prescription because we're recommending our patients to try all of these products at the dispensaries. So there's 5 main methods: topical, oral, sublingual, suppository/rectal, and inhalation. Within inhalation, there is a smokable route for actual bud. That's where you're actually buying marijuana and grinding it, rolling it yourself, or you can buy pre-roll. That one has a specific regulation. That one is to have 2.5 ounces or buy 2.5 ounces from the dispensary.
Stigma around the topic persists, but medicinal cannabis continues to help millions of users worldwide. The future of this miraculous plant depends on much needed research and education. Visit your local dispensary to find out more.
As a millennial in Miami, nightlife and entertainment can be a huge part of our lives. Being a young adult here in Miami, sometimes you feel like you're lost or you have nowhere to go. But here in Miami, there's something for everyone. Miami's location at Florida's southeastern tip is what allows this city to have perfect weather, pristine coastlines, and great nightlife and entertainment. Because of Miami's subtropical location, combined with its multicultural influences, the city offers exciting entertainment for all walks of life. When many people think of Miami, the first thing that comes to mind is, it's time to party. And don't get me wrong, in many ways, this is true. All around the United States and the world, people feel left out or that they don't belong. But here in Miami, you don't have to worry about that. A very large part of Miami's culture is its LGBTQ community. Miami has one of the largest LGBTQ communities in the world. Places like Gramps in Wynwood, the art district of Miami, hold weekly drag shows and performances. Every Thursday, Gramps holds a drag show called Double Stubble, hosted by DJ Hot Pants.
Gramps plays a really important role in the queer culture of Miami in general. And I feel really lucky that a number of performers have said to me just how comfortable they feel, how much they love the acceptance of the audience, and that they do feel that they can do whatever it is that they want to perform and have it be acknowledged and appreciated.
Not only does Double Stubble allow the voice of the LGBTQ's community to be heard, but it allows the performers to have the opportunity to be themselves and express who they really are, all while putting on a great show.
Artistry and allowing people to just do whatever the hell they want to do. We've never told someone to change their song or we really always wanted it to be like, this is a free space where you can perform what you want to. If you need to do an emotional ballad or if you just want to do a bunch of high kicks, either way is fine.
Double Stubble has been going on for 5 years now, providing an environment for any and all people to feel comfortable. Drag shows and performances alike have almost become a need in Miami.
One of the things that I love about Double Stubble and the drag shows and the drag community is whether it's the performers or the crowd, there really aren't any lines when it comes to age and sex and gender and race. It's just a big melting pot.
Of course, Double Stubble has created a welcoming environment, but Gramps as a whole has never turned anyone away.
I've got to commend Adam, the owner of Gramps, because he's always, from the beginning, said this is a place for everyone. We're not a gay bar, we're not a straight bar. It's a come as you are bar. If you want to come dressed up, fine. If you want to just be here in flip-flops, fine. No dress code, just come as yourself and be authentic.
No matter who you are, where you're from, how old you are, or what you wear, you're always welcome to have a great time here in Miami.
This is just one of the many devices causing an uprise in vaping among our youth. With an outbreak in lung injury and new laws changing every day, we sat down with a pediatric pulmonologist to gain a better insight into this new rising trend.
I'm Dr. Mario Rube. I'm a pediatric pulmonologist. I was trained in the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. I have privileges here at the Nicholas Children's Hospital, at the Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital, and at Kendall Regional Hospital.
The first thing we asked Dr. Rube was how he believes vaping first evolved.
As you know, in the last decades of the 20th century, the cigarette companies and tobacco manufacturers were sued actually it was a very large lawsuit that it was won, and they were supposed to publish articles and media to stop smoking for a lot of the population and to prevent cancer of the lung, of the airways, of the tongue, of anything air from the airways down to all the way to the end of the alveoli and in the rest of the body as well. And there was a large campaign. So apparently, probably these people started developing alternative ways of inhaling the nicotine.
With a recent rise in vaping among children in both middle and high school, we wanted to hear if Dr. Rube dealt with any local cases.
The lungs have air, and if they have air in an X-ray, they'll look black. Black is air, that's healthy. This is healthy lung. This is the right lung, and this is the left lung. Now let me show you what happens with vaping. If you have the same lungs here, and you've been vaping, and this is a 20-year-old boy, man actually, who was vaping, and in the dependent areas, in other words, the bottom part of the lungs, okay, where the deposition of the liquid will fall into the lungs and will fall down here. This is the area here, the dependent, in the back part of the lungs. And it causes changes in the lungs. You see? Changes. These are all different changes. These are more like nodules.
And what effect does inhaling vape have on the lungs?
Inhaled product from the e-cigarette is falling into the lungs, and as you're laying back, it's falling to the back of your chest, and is causing damage, completely destroying the normal architecture of these little alveoli. So imagine if these alveoli, if you can see it, are getting full of this greasy substance, and it's breaking them up and causing blood and hemorrhage and pneumonias in these lungs. We are seeing deaths already, and that's what's waking up everybody to say, let's do something about it. We have to let the people know that e-vaping is dangerous and potentially very toxic and lethal. Okay? Fortunately, not everybody's going to die from it, thank God. But however, it's very important to let you know that it's not as safe as cigarettes. And that is one of the biggest problems we have.
Anybody who does vaping, who's under the age of 18, has been informed by the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, and the government to please stop doing so. Anybody who's pregnant, we ask them please to stop vaping. And if you're thinking of getting pregnant, also stop vaping or stop inhaling e-cigarettes or ENDS, electronic nicotine delivery systems. Thank you.
Miami has beautiful places, and hidden inside Hialeah, Florida is one of it. It's a hidden gem. It's a water sports complex that is home to the only wakeboarding attractions park in Miami. Here, you can step out of your comfort zone, take a leap of faith, and jump into the water. When you hear South Florida, you automatically associate that with Miami, sunshine, clubbing, and the beach. But there's more to South Florida that meets the eye. Many cities in South Florida have hidden gems that aren't well known yet offer tons of entertainment. One of these hidden gems happens to be found in the public park, Amelia Earhart Park. This 515-acre urban park is home to Miami Water Sports Complex, the only wakeboarding attractions park in South Florida. Wakeboarding is a common beach activity, but Miami Water Sports Complex is the only place where wakeboarders are given the opportunity to test their skills and feel that rush of adrenaline. The wakeboarding park's ramps allow wakeboarders to do tricks and jumps, letting their inner ex-gamer out to play. Unlike most wakeboarding places that use a boat, Miami Water Sports Complex is the only place that uses a cable system. Although they do offer other services which use the boat like wake surfing, water skiing, and tubing, their most popular attraction is wakeboarding on the cable system. In only 5 years, Miami Water Sports Complex has made a name for itself, not only among locals, but with visitors from around the world.
So I'm on a group tour. It's called Ultimate Wakeboard Road Trip by US Cable Tours, just to let you know. And basically it's like 6 or 7 days, and we're going to 4 different parks in Florida. Yeah, so we're going to one in Orlando, one here, 2 here actually, and 1 in Tampa as well. Yeah. I like the kind of adrenaline rush when you kind of do something that you didn't think that you could do.
Miami Water Sports Complex is open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and it is always busy.
During the week, 30, 40 a day. During the weekends, over like 100.
A wonderful staff made up of trained individuals who offer tips and advice that help you get better. They offer services for everybody, from beginners to hardcore enthusiasts who might have more experience. It's a type of activity that can be enjoyed by people of all ages and that motivates you to not give up, but rather get up and try again until you get it.
It's really fun to just go out there and craziest things you can think of, and then even if you fall, and you just run back to the dock, and it's like an amazing feeling and a great experience.
It's a great place to meet people with common interests who love wakeboarding, and it's the perfect opportunity to escape from humid temperatures and take a splash, even if that means purposely falling off the board.
Let's go!
Women in gaming is often something you don't hear. However, our very own Victoria Perez is the first gaming commentator.
We spoke with her about her accomplishments and struggles as a woman in a community dominated by men.
My name is Victoria Perez, and I'm an esports commentator for Super Smash Bros. I am the first commentator for Super Smash Bros. As a female. It definitely was really difficult getting involved with Smash Bros. Just because, esport-wise, it's a very male-dominated, space. I didn't really care about that. I grew up on games my whole life, so I kind of went in there, and my first intuition wasn't to commentate. I don't think that's anyone's first intentions whenever they get into competitive gaming. It was just to get better and to have fun with friends and stuff like that. And just one thing escalated and kind of just became an actual career choice that I wanted to pursue. I've been able to work with companies like Nintendo, Amazon, Blizzard. I began in 2015 where I walked into my first tournament, which is actually not too far from here. It was at Versus Gaming Center in Pompano Beach. And the moment I walked in, I honestly fell in love with the place. It felt like a one big family. I definitely enjoy playing on my own time, but I didn't know that there was a competitive scene, so I kind of took it on as a hobby. And from there on, within the first year, I actually was contacted by Nintendo, and they wanted me to do a broadcast with one of their influencers for the San Diego Comic-Con event. And after I worked with them for the first time, that's kind of when I knew I wanted to pursue this legitimately. And a few years later, I want to say actually this past March, they actually just inducted me into the Nintendo Brand Ambassadorship Program. And it's been a pleasure so far. I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I feel like as an FIU student, I'm proud to say that I've learned so much from not just this school, but bringing it into my career choice and all the experience I've had from work and just my hobby. It kind of just has intertwined together. I actually just came back this past weekend from a Nintendo event where they hosted this Nintendo Ambassador event where they invited all 23 Nintendo ambassadors to play the new Luigi's Mansion 3 early. And it was a really fun experience, and honestly, playing the game Luigi's Mansion is really fun. So I felt honored almost because it was the first event I was able to do as a Nintendo ambassador that they had invited me to do. Because it was work, but it wasn't broadcasting work that I have been doing with them for the last 3-4 years. So being the only girl that started out with commentary for the last 4 years has been definitely pretty tough. You have to have thick skin within this industry. It's just the unfortunate truth that, being in a male-dominated, I would say, section of this type of industry, a lot of people just tend to automatically doubt what you know about the game and what you're saying. They automatically assume that you just don't really know what you're talking about. And it's unfortunate, but it doesn't bother me. I got hired for a reason. I'm there for a reason. I study, I have notes, I have my peers that have helped me grow. I've wanted to quit a bunch of times. I feel like anybody that gets involved with this as a woman would want to, but you're on Twitch. I stream on Twitch, so I know how the Twitch network works, but a a lot of these tournaments are broadcasted on Twitch, so things can get nasty, things have to be filtered. Still doesn't bother me. I'm still doing my job, I'm still getting paid for it, so it's kind of like, oh, you know, you can hold that, but I'm still gonna be doing me, I'm still gonna get hired whether you like it or not, and I'm still looking to grow and get better as a female commentator.
Commuting in Miami can feel like such a mission. Moving around the Magic City often forces young residents to take up multiple forms of transportation, from buses to Ubers to their own personal vehicles. I spoke to a few of those residents and filmed my own commute to show just how hard it is to navigate Miami traffic. Alright, so I'm about to make my commute to BBC from my house. It's like 45 minutes to get there. Let's see how long it takes this morning, considering it's 9 o'clock. So yeah, let's see if I make it to class early today.
If you attend FIU, you've probably heard about students complaining about traffic when they come to campus. Traffic has always been a hot topic here in Miami, and the Modesto Maidique and Biscayne Bay campuses are no stranger to their fair share of traffic jams. I wanted to ask students and staff what they thought about traffic here in Miami, as well as provide insight as to how I commute from home to campus, work, and everywhere else in between.
I will say driving, because I've done it once. It can be a bit of a hassle because of the schools around, but for the most part, no, it's not too much trouble.
It depends on traffic always. It's, you know, I chose the morning time just so that I could get here on time if there's no traffic, with 30 minutes or so.
I do find it very difficult to make it to Biscayne Bay campus. It actually took me about 2 hours to get here this morning.
I'm like right smack in between both campuses, so it takes me 30 minutes either way. And going to this campus is a little bit easier than going to the other campus traffic-wise.
For those who need to commute between the Modesto Maidique and Biscayne Bay campuses, the Golden Panther Express now offers free transportation between both locations.
To get to campuses, I do depend on my own vehicle. I have tried to take the bus from main campus to Biscayne Bay campus before, but I missed it that one time that I tried, so I haven't retried.
I've never used the shuttle. I know there's a shuttle from here to the engineering campus, and that's no idea. I always have a car, so there's no problem.
I feel it's great that they made it free, and I think it's a great service. It makes me not spend as much gas or money on tolls, so I think it's great.
Prior to fall 2019, the Golden Panther Express used to cost $2.50 per ride. Even then, in spring 2019, 87,523 trips were taken on the Golden Panther Express, including student and non-student rides. I commute to campus between 3 or 4 times every week, and the shuttle has definitely helped me save time, money, and gas when it comes to my commute. This is really fun to watch. Anyways, aside from the bus and my own car, the only other form of transportation I'll take in Miami are Ubers. I typically Uber from my job to the Modesto Maidique campus. From there, I'll either take the shuttle to BBC or take classes at MMC when need be. Even though transportation and buses are an option, many have criticized that they are not reliable here in Miami.
People say that public transportation is really bad in Miami compared to other states, but the way I've seen it, I've used public transportation a lot of my life, and it's okay. It gets me from point A to point B pretty well and pretty straightforward.
They should make it more like how they have it in Europe and how they have it in other continents, which is more modern and it's more updated. I just feel it's kind of outdated and it's kind of slow, and it's also like not a system that is like constantly evolving.
But based on my own experiences and those of students and staff at FIU, it seems like the most important thing you need on the road is a little bit of patience.
Okay, I got to school like at 9:59, so it was like almost an hour, probably like 50 minutes, but I'm here. I made it, so that's good. Traffic wasn't too bad. It was just annoying, as always. There was a point where I almost
got here late because the train hit us on Biscayne Boulevard, but I made it past that point. I'm gonna go so I can get to class. So yeah, thank you for joining me.
A running joke is that college students are broke and struggling. Unfortunately, it's not a joke, and many students struggle to eat a decent meal.
Luckily, college campuses are attempting to tackle this. We took a peek into Florida International University and what they're doing for students in need.
My name is Amanda McDowell. I'm an assistant director with the Center for Leadership and Service. I'm currently interim for leadership over on this campus, so that's why I have now taken over overseeing the food pantry alongside my colleague, Joanna Garcia, who is the associate director, and she oversees both pantries. So I'm working very closely with her to manage, keep stocked, and support our students that visit this campus.
Hi, my name is Violet Gamba. I am a graduate student in the Higher Education Administration program, and I am the graduate assistant for the MMC Student Food Pantry.
So the food pantry was started just a few years ago, and it started actually off as a concept. It began as a student project where students were really passionate about food insecurity on campus. So as part of the Academy of Leaders program, there's a service project component to that program. So students began collecting items, and we began storing the items actually in a small closet on the MMC campus in just random buildings. So wherever they would give us space, we would put items away there and then tell students like, hey, if you need, items, you can come to us and we'll walk you over. And that's kind of how the food pantry started.
So here at the food pantry, we get donations from pretty much anyone who wants to donate. So if you're a student organization, a class, just an individual yourself, we also have the Adopt a Month program here. So that means a lot of departments are able to sign up for a month with our student food pantry to donate on an annual basis. So that has been really popular over the past 2 years. If someone wants to make monetary donations, we do not accept cash. However, if you go to our website, go.fiu.edu/student food pantry, there will be a link through the Ignite Foundation, so you can put in your credit card information, and that's how we receive monetary donations.
So it's open to all FIU students. And so we have grad students, we have undergrad students. Any students are able to come and visit the food pantry if they need it. And when students come and visit, we don't ask questions, we just ask, is it your first time visiting the food pantry? And if so, we have them fill out a first-time patron form. And once they have that form, they're able to come in and visit us at least once a week and take up to 10 pounds of food.
We do have a lot of students that come in to take food. I looked at the data for the month. We had over 500 students come in for the month of September. So roughly around like 100 or so per week. We have noticed that since the founding of our pantry and since we moved here in 2018, each month has been a steady increase of students coming through.
Yeah.
No.
I am. Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I'm not.
Yes. No? I was not aware.
I actually just found that out yesterday.
Oh, perfect.
Ironically enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Yes.
No.
No.
That's a tough one.
I'm gonna say yes for me.
I want to say no.
No.
No, not really.
I mean, I'm kind of already like really, really broke. And I feel like that's kind of like the culture within college students. I don't think anyone really cares. I personally wouldn't care if people found out I was getting food from a food pantry, just because that's kind of like the norm where we're all complaining about like, I have no money, we're broke, we're poor. And I mean, if you don't have family to go to for food, then definitely like, I have no problem telling people, like, yeah, I got my food from a food pantry, and what?
Every year in Miami, thousands of students are about to graduate and begin their journey to look for their brand new home. In a city where rent prices only keep rising, it's become more challenging for Generation Zers and Millennials to look for their brand new home, but it is doable. Here are some tips and tricks on how to do it. This is Housing in Miami. The market price in Miami for renting a house fluctuates depending on the needs and areas people are looking for to move in. Generation Z and young millennials in Miami, as any other young adult in different cities around the United States, wish to live in a hip or cool area. We have asked Maria Gabriela Tedesco, a real estate coach and recruiting director for Amanti Way, what are the areas that young adults look to move in Miami, and what is the average price for housing in this area. This is what she had to say.
En real estate no podemos hablar generalidades, hay que ser bien laser focus, ¿no? Cada área obviamente va a marcar un tipo de precio dependiendo justamente de esa área. Por lo menos en Miami abarca un espacio geográfico muy grande, pero digamos en el área de Edgewater, Brickell area, esa área es muy buscada por los jóvenes, ¿verdad? Hay aproximadamente una propiedad de una habitación, está alrededor de los $1,500 al mes, $1,600. Si hablamos de 2, ya estás hablando de $2,000 al mes.
Making the decision to become an independent individual can be a scary thought. However, many young adults do it all the time around the United States. They're able to come up with alternatives on living away from their parents. Here's an example.
My name is Connor Niles. I'm 24 years old and I'm currently a certified flight instructor. I graduated from The Ohio State University in 2017 and I've lived in the Columbus, Ohio metro area for 22 years. I decided with a group of very ambitious friends that we wanted to live as cheap as possible. So we did a lot of research and we eventually found a house that was in not so great of a neighborhood but was close enough to campus. We divided a 2-bedroom apartment between 4 of us and our rent ended up being $175 per month for each of us.
So, getting your new place is doable. You might encounter some challenges. The place might not be big enough. You might not have enough parking. They might not allow pets. But you need to decide what is going to be your priority and make the decision based on it.
So I moved to Miami about a year and a half ago. And when I did so, I wanted to implement some of the strategies that I had previously used in my university days in order to make my cost of living very, very low.
Here are some tips on how to get your own place.
Mi recomendación es obviamente que sean responsables en el manejo de sus finanzas. Tú me tienes que demostrar que tu income es at least 3 veces esa renta.
So for those of you who are about to graduate, some financial tips that have led me to more success than the other peers my age. Be aware of how much you're spending. Don't go out to eat and don't go out to spend money on drinks. Obviously, people are going to go out. People are going to go have fun. And that's not, I don't want to give the idea of never do that because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like be cognizant of it and be aware of how much you're spending.
Hope this video gave you some insight on the housing market in Miami for your millennials and Generation Z. For more information about all Miami things, check out our website.